Greetings, YouTubers, and welcome to my 44th TTM video, where today I will share with you 3 TTMs I got in the mail, give a few shout-outs as well. It's been a while since I've done some TTMs, been under the weather a little bit, couple of health issues, but nothing serious, just enough to keep me down for a week. And that's why I've been watching a lot more videos lately, trying to catch up on everybody's videos. So it wasn't that I was trying to ignore anybody, still trying to watch your stuff, so you might have seen me comment on a big batch at once. I'm just trying to get caught up, because you guys got some great stuff, and I don't want to miss anything. I want to thank some of the folks that have joined us, the new people, and the people that have already been with us. Thank you. And sorry to see some of the people go. Lost a couple, but that's part of the game. So let's get started. Let's get started with the shoutouts. Shall we? Yes. First shoutout goes to Sterfry's Trio. He's formerly Woolman's Trio, I believe, was its original name. Now changed the name, Sterfry's. Old Sterling's got a great channel. Give him a look-see. He should have more subscribers than he does. He's a great North Carolina fan too, so check him out. Second one, Providence pack openers, and they open packs. Check them out. They have some good stuff as well. 2 great channels with great content. Another channel with great content is number 3, and that is Shoebox Baseball. Get it right there, Shoebox. He's got TTMs, and he has got a lot of private signings as well. I got a great collection of stuff. And fourth is Joey Don't Call My Wax Junk. Or Joey H. Sorry if I put it down wrong. Joey H44. Don't call my junk. Don't call my wax junk. Sorry about that. I forgot the H44. But Joey H44. Don't call my wax junk. Big Atlanta Braves fan. Great stuff. Shown a lot of great things. Check him out as well. All great channels. And also Reindeer Studios. I got a package from Scott at Reindeer Studios. He has contests where he plays the game of, degrees, where he shows a person, gives a name, and you got to connect someone to him. And I got one. I was connected, and sent me this nice big drawing. It says, "Hey Ed, congrats on winning, and thanks so much for playing. Like how the Rocky sketch came out. He's so dreamy. Ha! Enjoy, Scott." Yes, he is dreamy. He drew one of Sylvester Stallone. I believe it was connected to Telly Savalas. Had he connect him, and he did an episode of Kojak. So here is the Sylvester Stallone. Move you back there. Came out excellent. My kids, all my sons are fighting over it as to who gets it in their room. And they all want it up. So there it is, Rocky. Sylvester Stallone. So if you haven't seen Reindeer Studios again, Scott does great drawings. Does this every week. Check it out. You could win too. This week was Burt Reynolds, and how you could connect someone to Burt Reynolds in a movie, what have you. And I chose Fred the Basset Hound from Smokey and the Bandit. I didn't see anybody choose him. Yeah. All right, I did have one pickup this week that came in the mail, and this is a program, 1980 American League Championship Series program between the New York Yankees and the Kansas City Royals. And I liked it because it had Thurman Munson on the cover. One of my all-time favorites. And it's a Yankee Stadium one. It was $2 back then. It didn't cost me $2, but it looks really good inside and out. Yankees lost to the Royals in that ALCS, who went on to play the Phillies in the World Series. All right. First TTM. This one took 12 days. There was no fee. Came out from the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. I sent 2. He only signed 1. So I also kept one of my holders, and that's former quarterback Chuck Fusina. I sent him 2, get that straight, 2 USFL football cards. He signed that one, the, what was that, the 83 one. This was the 84. I didn't sign that, so I don't know if he's a 1 per, but I'll send this one back out. I like the old USFL cards to get signed. Charles Anthony Chuck Fusina was born on May 31st, 1957 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Excuse me. He's 63. He went to high school in McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania. I believe he went to Stowe Rocks High School, if I pronounced it right. His old football jersey's on display outside the gymnasium. He attended Penn State University under legendary coach Joe Paterno. He had a record of 29-3 as a starter, 90.6% winning percentage. In 1978, his team went 11-0 that year. He was named the Maxwell Award winner and also an All-American. They went to New Orleans, Louisiana. They were the number one team in the country, and on January 1st, 1979, played number 2 Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. They lost a tight one, 14-7 to Alabama, and Alabama won the national championship that year under Paul Bear Bryant. In his career at Penn State, Chuck threw for 1,859 yards and 11 touchdowns. Remember back then they ran a lot more than they do today, a lot more throwing today. He got a BS in marketing at Penn State in 1978, and 10 years later, in 1988, got an MBA at LaSalle, two fine Pennsylvania schools. In the 1979 NFL Draft, he was selected in the 5th round with the 133rd pick by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He spent his first 3 seasons essentially as a backup to the great Doug Williams. He was a backup on the team that went to the 1979 NFC Championship game to lose to the Rams. That was like 9-0, a very rain-soaked game. In 1983, however, he signed with the new United States Football League with the Philadelphia Stars. There he really blossomed under head coach Jim Mora. Yes, the same Jim Mora who would coach the Saints and the Colts, famous playoffs, that guy. In 3 seasons, he passed for over 10,000 yards and led all USFL quarterbacks with 66 touchdowns and had a QB rating of 88.6. He led the Stars to 2 straight USFL titles in 1984 and 1985. And the first year was won by the Michigan Panthers, I believe they were called. And he was the MVP of the 1984 USFL Championship game. The Stars eventually moved to Baltimore when they won their 2nd title, but they had great teams. They could have actually played in the NFL. They were that good. After the USL folded in 1986, they won their lawsuit against the NFL but got awarded $3. He spent 1 season with the Green Bay Packers essentially as a backup. So that was his career in the NFL. He really didn't do anything there, but had a great USFL career. He was the USFL's most outstanding quarterback in 1984. And was the Sporting News USFL Player of the Year in 1984. As I said, he won the USFL Championship Game MVP in 1984 and was a 2-time champ in the USFL. In 2015, he was elected to the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame with his former coach, Joe Paterno, and his former PSU teammate, kicker Matt Barr. So again, Chuck Fusina took 12 days, no fee out of Pennsylvania. He signed 1 of 2. So I'll send him the other one. See if I can get them USFL cards signed. The second one is an 8x10. Took 11 days, came from Texas. No fee whatsoever on this one. And that is a former linebacker, D Lewis. I like this one because D's up there, midair, getting blocked. There's Joe Theismann. I don't know exactly who's blocking him, but it's a nice picture to get signed. Dwight Douglas Lewis, better known as D, was born on October 16th, 1945 in Knoxville, Tennessee. He was the youngest of 14 children, so he came from a big family. He was actually named after 2 famous generals, one who was a president as well, Dwight D. Eisenhower, thus the first name, and Douglas MacArthur, thus his other name. He attended Fulton High School in Knoxville, Tennessee as well, and then attended Mississippi State University in Starkville, Mississippi. He played both offense and defense. His teams were not very good. I believe they were a total of 7-23, but he was a great player. He was all SEC twice, the first team All-American in his senior year. Coach Paul Bear Bryant of Alabama said he was the best linebacker in the country, and he was also named SEC Defensive Player of the Year in 1967. In the 1968 NFL Draft, he fell to the 6th round and was picked 159th by the Dallas Cowboys, where he would play his whole career from 1968 until 1981. Many teams thought that he was too small to play in the NFL. He was 6 feet 1. And at training camp, the Dallas Cowboys tried him out at center before moving him to outside linebacker. He did a little time for his military service, so he missed a little time in the NFL. But in 1973, after essentially being Chuck Howley's backup for 4 years, he took over after Howley's retirement, and he had a very good career. His best game in his career probably was the 1975 NFC Championship game, where he had 2 interceptions in a 37-7 victory over the Los Angeles Rams. The Cowboys became the first wild card team to make it to a Super Bowl, where they would lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers in Super Bowl X, 21-17 in Miami, the old Orange Bowl, and that's where Lynn Swann made those fantastic catches in that game. To this day, he still holds the Cowboys' playoff record with 27 games played. He played 9 NFC Championship games and made 5 Super Bowl appearances, winning 2. So thus I asked him to sign 2-time Super Bowl champs, and he did right there, very nicely, right by his elbow. I like that. He first won, it was Super Bowl VI when they beat the Miami Dolphins in New Orleans, and then in Super Bowl XII when Dallas beat Denver in New Orleans. During the 1987 season, he became, along with Larry Cole of the Cowboys, the first 3-decade players in franchise history. So played in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. He started 135 consecutive games, 3rd in Dallas team history. He's only one of 8 NFL players who played in 5 Super Bowls. In 1982, he came up with a famous saying. He said that Texas Stadium has a hole in its roof so that God can watch his favorite team play. And it did have a hole in its roof at that time. He played in 186 games in his career, 135 started, all for the Cowboys, 8 interceptions, he had 97 yards off those picks, and 14 fumble recoveries. He was a 2-time All-SEC player, as I said, 2-time Super Bowl champ, is in the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame, the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. He made the Cowboys Silver Anniversary team in 1984, and is a member of the College Football Hall of Fame. Surprisingly, in his whole career, he was never selected to one Pro Bowl or named to the All-Pro squads. A little side note, he had a job in a movie. He was in a movie once. It was a 1974 picture called Horror High, and if you've never seen it, I haven't either. But he played a policeman in Horror High that year. Also, Calvin Hill, Mean Joe Green, Craig Morton, all played policemen in that movie as well. So, some jobs for the NFLers to make some cameos. But again, this was free of charge, so nice D D Lewis to sign it and inscribe it. And lastly, got a baseball. This is from a 1960 World Series champ. And that's Mr. Bill Vernon. I get that a little closer there. You know, the glare is a little rough. Keep my fingers on the seams, but there's Bill Vernon. Get that up. There we go. He signed 1960 World Series champs. I already have him on another ball with 1955 Rookie of the Year. So this year I'm trying to collect baseball signed by members of the 1960 World Series winning Pirates and the 1962 New York Mets, their first year in existence. This took 8 days. I did include $5 and it came all the way from Missouri. William Charles Bill Vernon, born June 9th, 1931 in Hazel Park, Michigan. He's 89, be 90 this coming June. When he was 12 years old, his family moved to West Plains, Missouri. He attended West Plains High School, where he played football, basketball, and participated in track and field. His school didn't compete in baseball, so he had to travel to Clay Center, Kansas, to play center field on their American Amateur Baseball Congress team. He enrolled at Drury University in Springfield, Missouri. But he would go on to attend an open tryout held by the New York Yankees in Branson, Missouri. There, New York Yankee scout Tom Greenwade signed Vernon to the Yankees for $1,800 signing bonus, which today is about $19,000. Tom Greenwade, the scout, is also the same guy that discovered a ball player by the name of Mickey Mantle from Commerce, Oklahoma. So he did pretty well as a scout. Bill Vernon never played for the Yankees in the major leagues. He was mostly in the minor league, played all minor league ball with the Yankees. While he was in the minor leagues, I believe he was in Kansas City in the minor leagues, his manager saw him wearing glasses while he was reading, and Bill Vernon was hitting real poorly. He was not doing well. And his manager told him to wear the glasses when he played, and that changed his career because he could see better. He had astigmatism and started to wear the glasses. In 1954, Vernon was traded to the St. Louis Cardinals along with two other players for future Hall of Famer Enos Slaughter. He was probably never going to really play for the Yankees in the outfield because they had that Mickey Mantle guy in center field where he played, and they also had some great other outfielders. So it's probably the best thing that happened to him was to get traded to the Cardinals. Made his major league debut on April 12, 1955. The Cardinals trusted him so much to play in the outfield, they moved a guy by the name of Stan Musial to first base so he could play the outfield. And it paid off because in 1955 he was named Rookie of the Year, and he hit .281, had 17 homers and 69 runs batted in. He played for St. Louis until 1956. Just a short time because at the beginning of the 56 season he slumped, and the general manager decided to trade him in May to the Pittsburgh Pirates. The GM was Frank Lane, and he said when he traded Vernon, he traded him because late in 1955 he just kind of slumped down the stretch. And eventually Lane said it was the worst trade he ever made. Vernon played for the Pirates from 1956 to 65, and he played a few games in 1968 for them because he had a bunch of guys doing military service. In 1956, he finished second in the NL batting race. He hit .319, but the winner hit .328, and that was a guy by the name of Hank Aaron. In 1960, his Pirates, who he's a member of, went to the World Series. He hit .241 in this series, but it was in Game 7 where he had a hit. He hit a ball to shortstop Tony Kubek of the New York Yankees, and the ball hit something, a rock, a pebble, who knows what, but it took a bounce, and it hit Kubek in the throat. And that allowed Vernon to get to first base. Kubek was never the same after that. But this started the rally that culminated in Bill Mazeroski's famous home run to win the series. In his career, Bill Vernon hit .267, he hit 91 homers and 502 RBIs. He was also a manager. He won 995 games, lost 921, so he won 51.9% of his games as a manager. He managed the Pirates, where he was the manager of the 1972 NL East champs. They lost Game 5 of the NLCS when Bob Moose threw a wild pitch that allowed the Reds to win it. The Reds went on to lose the World Series, though, to Oakland. He managed the Yankees from 74 to 75 when he was replaced by a guy by the name of Billy Martin. And then he managed the Houston Astros from 75 to 82, where he would manage them to the 1980 National League West title, where they lost to the Phillies in the NLCS, and then finished his career as a manager in Montreal. He was a two-time World Series champ, 1960 as the center fielder for the Pirates, and then in 1971 as a coach for the Pirates. As I said, he was Rookie of the Year in 1955, and in 1962 he won the Gold Glove, his only Gold Glove of his career. After Whitey Herzog got into the Baseball Hall of Fame, he said he was going to champion Bill Vernon to get in to the Hall of Fame. He was going to do what he could to get this guy in the Hall of Fame. So that's really high praise from Whitey, who's a great manager. All right, that does it for today. Sorry it ran a little bit overboard, but I like to give out the information. As I always say, they're not just faces on some cards. They're people and they got a story. And again, we're getting close to 500 subscribers, which is great. The old Hall of Fame plaque, unlike the Baseball Hall of Fame, you get at 500. But here are a couple of prizes. Upper Deck Hockey Box, if you like that. As I said, also the 1970s Baseball Tops set there. Super set, super whatever the heck it is. Also, I'll be throwing in 2 eBay gift cards at $25 a piece. I might throw in something else, I'm not sure, but I want to make it hopefully a good one. Hopefully everybody is doing well. I appreciate all the support. Thank you all. I'm going to try to watch as many videos as I can. I'll keep commenting, so enjoy all your stuff. You got great stuff, great channels out there. Everybody stay safe. Be kind to each other. It just takes one person at a time and pass it on, and before you know it, everybody's happy. So thanks for watching. Tonight, we say good night, Oregon.